till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around, can't stop.
Hello and welcome. In this video I will reveal a secret that power tool manufacturers are hiding from people. On a more serious note, I will talk about what kinds of power tool classes exist, and I think that this video is helpful if you are planning to buy power tools, regardless of whether you are buying electrical power tools or the pneumatic power tools. This is the basic video to see, so that you know when you're looking at different reviews and prices and comparing, to know what you're buying. After this video you can watch any kinds of reviews, read whatever you like, but this is something basic that, as far as I know, many people don't understand or realize, and that's why I wanted to hit the high points and explain. This is what we'll be talking about today. The classes of power tools that are basically 4 basic classes, and I will discuss them all. Briefly, we have brand name power tools, hobby or do-it-yourself DIY power tools, professional class power tools, and industrial class power tools that also include the really exotic assembly line power tools, but I will not be taking time from this video to explain that. So to explain what they are, what their pros and cons are, and what you should be looking for, I will start with these ones. When it comes to industrial power tools, I don't have any of those to show you today. I don't use those tools in my work, and when it comes to those tools, the most popular manufacturer in my country is the Hilti, and also many other big tool manufacturers make the industrial class power tools. So Bosch, Makita, Milwaukee, just to name a few, Metabo, of course, they all make that class of tools. Those tools are made to be very robust, durable. They are made for professionals, but also with an emphasis on being really high quality in terms of reliability as well as their function. So when it comes to those tools, the prices are very high. And for example, if we look at Bosch's line of tools, we'll discuss that in a bit more detail when we talk about professional tools, but their most expensive line of professional tools are basically the industrial grade power tools. So they cost a lot, and those tools are used for jobs where any kind of waiting time is very expensive. So it's not about the local electrician having their tool for drilling slots for cables in a wall being broken, so they will come the next day when they get a spare tool or fix or whatever. That is a hassle. It's very inconvenient for both the client and the handyman, but it's not costing millions of dollars. But I'm talking about a mechanic or a handyman being transported via a helicopter, chopper, to an oil rig that is a mile or so away from the land to do some work, and every hour costs millions, and the storage and the weight that they can carry in tools is limited or expensive, so it's complicated to carry spares and whatnot. So for those kinds of cases, it is profitable. It makes sense to spend the amount of money for the industrial grade power tools. And for ordinary people or mechanics or professionals, it's generally better to look at the other 3 sections that I'll talk and show a bit more in the video, but I just wanted to get this out right away. So I love quality and durability, but I don't think that this grade of tools is a profitable and sensible choice when especially if you're considering the bang for the buck ratio. They are super expensive. They often come with a guarantee for a certain large number of years, over 5 or 10, spare parts, you have usually 24-hour repair guarantee, so you call the manufacturer, they send you a spare right away, or make sure to fix your tool within 24 hours, or both. At least in countries that are highly industrialized like Germany, probably United States, but I'm not 100% sure about that, cannot confirm, and similar, not in my country. And so those are the industrial. Now for the professional tools. These are the kinds of tools that are of good quality, that also have available spare parts, and often also come with that maximum service time guarantee. In many countries 24 or 48 hours, for example for Bosch in Germany. I don't know about other manufacturers. I think that some American tool brands also offer that in the United States. And those are the tools that are made of they are made of high quality, so that you can work nicely. And a nice thing about them is that you have spare parts. And for the electrical battery run for power tools, what I really like is that when you decide for one brand, you can usually use the standard batteries and chargers for almost all the tools. I will show that briefly now with the Bosch professional tools. These are the smaller type of tools that use the 10 or 12 volt batteries. I'll make a separate video explaining why sometimes it says 10, why 12 volts, but here I have this battery run light that I can take this battery and put it in my drill. I can also use it in this angle grinder, and so the same battery fits all those tools. I can carry 2 spares battery and 1 charger and use all the tools. I don't have to carry a lot of different batteries, chargers, and I can get these batteries even 5 or more years after I had already bought the tools. So some manufacturers swap these standards more frequently, some less, but generally with professional tools you have some sort of coverage guarantee, and also the quality of tools is very high. And that leads us to the next section, the hobby or DIY tools. They are called hobby tools, and this is one example that I have here. This is also made by Bosch, and this is officially 14.4 volts voltage, and it comes with its own battery. But the problem with this tool is that it has its own battery and its own charger, and unless you buy a big set of all different kinds of tools, I don't know where I can get a spare battery for this one and to use its charger, or where I can only go and buy a charger if I don't need any spare batteries, just a charger. On the other hand, with these professional tools I can buy a higher capacity batteries of greater size and weight, or smaller capacity that are also extra smaller, and so on. So it's a whole different set. And also it is fair to note that this tool has less torque, less power compared to this tool, even though it's bulkier and it has a nominally higher voltage, and you would expect it to be more powerful. So the quality of work that you can do with the hobby tools, you have that problems with spare parts, but generally it's not too bad, because most manufacturers that make tools will also cover their hobby tools with guarantees and spare parts for at least a certain amount of time. But compared to professional class of tools, you will not be able to as easily find the spare batteries to buy just separately, and so on. And for me, when I go with the battery tools, it's very convenient to have 2 or 3 batteries, so that I can put one on the charger and just keep working, and if one battery is drained, put it on the charger and take the one from the charger, and so on. Keep going, and not have to carry a lot of spare batteries and a separate charger for every tool. Another problem with the hobby tools is that they generally don't fit and perform in the hand and perform as well as professional tools. So for professionals, they usually know what it is like to work with high quality tools, and so when they get a lower quality tool, they can notice it right away, and are usually experienced and skilled enough to compensate for that, so they can get do a decent job even with hobby tools. It will take them probably a longer time depending on the particular tool and so on. I'm speaking this very generally, but it's possible for hobby users to get lower quality tools. They often don't know if there's some problem with the tool or with their technique, so it gets even trickier. So I could argue that hobby tools are not really always a good idea if you are a hobby user. Yes, I understand that the price points differ, it's double. The industrial are roughly double the price of good quality professional, and good quality professional tools are roughly double the price of decent quality hobby tools. This one is okay, it's done a lot of work for me, but again, compared to this one, it's less powerful, it's less, how do I say, it doesn't work as well. Just you notice the difference when you compare them and use them. And this is a relatively low grade professional tool. They are higher quality and more expensive of this type of tool as well as many others. So those are some things to consider. And what I joked about at the start is that I find this a bit ironic, and many people who review tools and who recommend tools, and many manufacturers will sell you this for hobby. And if you have money, I think that English saying is that I'm not rich enough to buy cheap things. I believe in that, and if you have enough money, it would probably be a good idea to not do as I did and buy something like this. I bought this at some crazy discount, and hobby tools you can often find them on discount. So, and they will get the job done, but when you compare them to higher quality tools, professional, it's not always a good idea. Sometimes yes, sometimes not, but it's important to know the difference and to know what you're buying. That's the point of this video. And now I will get to the line of tools that I would generally recommend that you avoid. Even though I bought this, I paid it with my own money, and I'm talking about tools that different store lines and chains sell. And this is sold by Lidl, department stores, supermarkets. This is their brand, Parkside. What these tools are is that, I'll take Lidl for example, but I think it's the same for most other big department store chains and whatnot. Parkside manufacturer of tools does not exist. It's not like Makita, Metabo, Milwaukee, Bosch, whatever. This is the marketing people from Lidl, and again, I'm not trying to bash Lidl, I'm saying things as they are. It's capitalism, everyone is trying to make money, and I just want to explain what you're buying when you buy this. So, with that in mind, I hope they won't sue me. And the Lidl marketing people go to China and say, okay, I want these kinds of specifications for a tool like this. What's the cheapest price that you can get me? And they take the cheapest offers. And I wrote an article on my website. I'll put it in the video description and make it pop up in your top right hand corner. The title is Ask for Better, Not for Cheaper. That's a bit philosophical and also a bit practical article, but that's generally they're looking for the cheapest option, and they will get the cheapest option. So for example, I made a video about this tool. It had a lot of vibrations and it wasn't working well, so I opened it and I added another bearing that cost a few dollars for a decent quality bearing. They cut that cost also. And based on the feedback of that video, I'll also put it in the description if I don't forget. Based on the feedback of that video, the newer models that you can buy also in Lidl of a tool like this don't come with the place to place the extra bearing, so they create a bit more vibrations. They don't work very well. The power drain from this one is very fast, so you have to recharge them more often. You cannot easily replace battery like on these other tools, and you cannot get really good coverage for spare parts. This one was sold for 1 year and then they changed something, and so the company that makes this, no one knows except the Lidl marketing people, and for every time they put it in the shops it could be a different physical manufacturer, probably in China. Nothing against the Chinese, and just the lowest bidder, and it usually is in China. So you are buying paying for really low quality of a tool, and yes, the price is lower even than hobby tools of manufacturers that make tools, but I would recommend that you wait for a discount and at least go with a hobby class of tools if you cannot afford the professional class instead of buying this. If you know the limits and what you're buying, it's okay. I paid for this, and with my slight modification it does the job for me, but this is a tool I use very rarely on some very not very detailed work and not a lot of time, but otherwise I would have to pay more money for a higher quality tool that will allow me to work better. When it comes to warranty, I think that Lidl in my country gives you money back or a new tool within 2 years after you bought this. And so one potentially good idea for tools like this is that if you know what you are doing and you need to do some high amount of work where you know that you will be practically molesting your tools, in that case you could go with a brand name tool and destroy it and ask for a new one or for a refund if your job is done. So without taking into consideration any ethical aspects of that, that's up to you. That could be a scenario where a tool like this could be a good idea. It's not my cup of tea, but I think it's fair to note it. And for everything else, I would say that the other classes of tools are a better idea. If I have enough time and good help and a bit of luck, I will try to make different reviews of different kinds of tools that I'm sure will also help many people, even though I mostly concentrate on bicycle mechanics and computer work, but I also use power tools relatively often and fix all sorts of things, and they do help you a lot in your work. It's a good idea to buy them. I like the battery run ones. They are now a well-developed technology, and if you buy good ones, you will have good results and be able to work practically very quickly. But I think it's important to understand this basic thing when you're buying, so that you know what you're buying, what you're paying for. I hope I've explained everything clearly enough. I hope this video helps you, and I want to thank you very much for watching. And do not forget, I also want to thank the good people who are supporting my work with Patreon donations. That does allow me to save up, buy better tools, recording equipment, backup storage and everything, just in case, and for the videos backups, and it allows me to work without being strangled by any sponsorship deals that force me to say what I don't think. I like being able to say how I see things and to share knowledge and experience, and without censorship. So if you want to support my work, if you like what I'm doing, you can go to patreon.com/BikeGremlin and choose the amount of money that is affordable to you and how much you want to pay for support. If you have any questions, comments, and especially if you have any corrections, if I made some mistakes, you can use the comment section below, but I would recommend that you register and use the BikeGremlin forum on bikegremlin.net, because that allows everyone else with a similar question or problem to easily search and find the answer. They get lost in YouTube. Google is a search engine, but their YouTube search is not very good, at least in my opinion and experience. So I think that's everything I wanted to share today. Again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in some other video. Cheers, stay cool. I almost forgot, I think it's fair also to note that for all the Patreon donations, I pass on over 10%, so at least 10% of all the donations are passed on to other creators and causes that I think are worth supporting, because I think it's a good way to share good energy and to use money for the good. And I think that you should be aware of that when you're paying money to me, not all that money, I will not keep it all to me. I will pass something on to stuff that I think are good supporting. For now, with the amount of money that I'm getting, I am paying only one creator, an independent radio station in my country, because I think that's an important thing to support and keep alive. And when the amount of support I get increases, as soon as I hit 10% limit, I will make another donation to a cause or a creator of my choice. And I think it's fair to disclose that, so you know where your money is going. And if you don't like that idea, then you will not engage, and that's it. Again, thank you for watching, and cheers.